This was an idea I thought of off the top of my head. I decided to, instead of reading that trashy, fucking trash mouthpiece of a so-called good article. I don't know who called it good, but I don't think anyone did. So I'm gonna scroll down here and read comments. There are 28 of them. I'm not gonna read all of them. I'm actually just gonna I'm gonna scroll down until I can't anymore. And instead of clicking something and reading more, I'm just gonna read the first couple um, comments that are here. These are the most recent too. Like this first comment, I'll read here. It says just now. It was just posted by somebody, and this person commented. It says yawn. In other words, this guy's really tired and doesn't know why he read this article. It says a truly hackneyed, uninteresting, and stilted clickbait article. Clickbait. I think I used that word in the earlier parts of this video. Written like the true shill for the modern game industry that you are at heart, Ian. I expected better. I think that's both entertaining and kind of awful at the same time. Awful because just those last three words, I, you, I, that's just that's a statement that I read and I'm just like, I wonder if that's his mom who said that to him. I expected better. Ian boy, you are a disgrace. I expected better from you. That's just, that I think I'm tired myself. I think I yawned a little bit reading the article too, and I think that that's just much funny. Or I'm sorry, I think that that's only funnier because I'm tired myself. But that's ridiculous. But I think he's completely right. This is a clickbait article. This is an article to get people like me pissed off, and I can be pretty easy to get pissed off. So, the next guy below him posted this one about an hour ago. Video games are not better today. The article starts with a false assumption. Fucking correct there. He is assuming. This is, and you know what? I don't even think he's assuming. This is just his opinion. This is his full opinion, and he is taking that opinion and trying to spout it like it's fact. And that's garbage. I don't know anyone who is a credible and well thought out article writer or journalist who actually spits out his opinions like they're fact. They don't do that. They take the actual facts and sure they can give opinions on them, but this whole time, this whole article just felt like he was like, this is how it is. New video games means good video games. Old video games mean garbage. And that's not true, because there's a lot of older video games that are phenomenal, and I still play them to this day. I haven't touched my Wii U in at least a month, but you know what I have touched is my Nintendo 64. I've been playing Banjo-Kazooie. Fix. To keep reading this comment a little bit, there are great games today. There used to be great games 20 years ago. And what follows the principles of a good game, good controls, encouraging challenge, great tunes, balanced, addictive gameplay, etc., was, is, and will be a good game. A mediocre article full of bias, ignorance. That is completely true. I completely agree with that. Like I said, I'm not even going to read all these articles. Or I'm sorry, I'm not even going to read all these comments. This one, I don't even think I'm going to read all the way. This is a couple paragraphs. But the first line, I said it. I feel like I just got trolled. We did. This is a clickbait article at best. And I feel like I've wasted brain power trying to figure out exactly what it is about newer video games, simply branded new because they came out within the past year or less, that makes them better than the old ones, and why all old games, apparently because they're old, are trash now. I'm gonna read the rest of this paragraph though. You can't do what you can do with retro games that you can't do with modern games. Why do I feel like I can't comprehend that other than probably because you can't do what you can do with retro games that you can't do with modern games. Okay, alright, reading it a second time helped. It's fun to go back and go through a game without much time needed. Current games don't allow that. They require you to sit through long tutorial stages, overdrawn cinematics, and awful load times. Well, the load times, I, I don't complain about load times, and I'm going to give you the only reason I can give for that, and that is because I have patience. There's plenty of people out there who, when they play video games, they want the instant satisfaction of going on Call of Duty and killing some motherfucker. But I mean, with these newer games, there is a lot more detail and a lot more packed into just one disc. It doesn't matter if the disc can hold more. It just means there's a lot more shit that has to be uploaded. So long load times, they happen. I mean, I can't get mad at them because you know what? When I do start playing the game, I get a nice full experience out of it. But I think the thing that this guy is trying to convey is that these newer games have flaws, and one of them could be considered to be their load times. People, when they play games, they want to play them. They don't want to spend time staring at a wallpaper screen. They want to fucking play their game. They want to shoot some motherfucker. They want to jump on a Goomba's head. They want to kill a lizard with a sword and collect that Triforce, bitch. I mean, just it's simple as that. I'm actually going to read one more line here. It says, "You are incredibly insulting to an era of games that brought us to today." That is a great fucking line. That is perfect. It is incredibly insulting to an era of games that brought us to today. I stated that earlier. Games today would be nothing. They would not even be existent if the Nintendo NES, if Nintendo did not decide to get into gaming any further than it has. When the video game crash happened, none of these games would exist. If it weren't for all these older games, the new ones wouldn't exist. That doesn't necessarily mean that all the older games are the best because they're old and they're what started the way games are today, and that games diminish the more and more we start developing them. But these games, these newer games, would not be what they are today without the old ones. I'm not going to say there's no bad old games, but it's incredibly ignorant and just arrogant to say that there's no good old games. That's a false fucking statement, because I can go down the street and I can mention Pac-Man to any random on the street, someone my age, even a little younger, all the way up to older, and they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, I played Pac-Man," and I'm gonna tell you, or I'm gonna ask them, "Did you like it?" And they're gonna say, "Yeah, that they thought Pac-Man was a lot of fun and it was revolutionary." And if I told them, "Hey, I have this nice little gadget that you plug into your TV, like a plug and play, and you can play Pac-Man right now, and I'm going to give that to you for $2, would you play it? Would you go home and play it?" I guarantee you, most everyone, unless they're this high-powered businessman that just doesn't have the time and feels like it could go to a better home, they're all going to say yes. Who the fuck doesn't want to play Pac-Man? Pac-Man is fun as shit, but it's an old game, and it is fun as shit, whether you're in the 1980s or today. Going on a little bit further, I'm going to read these last two comments. This one makes a decent point too, just reading off the top of my head. "Why do people still like the Beatles when music has gotten better? Notice as you read this statement, a large percentage of you will think, that's BS. New music sucks compared to older music." It says compared to older music. Compared to older music. "Classic music and classic games are great because they are great." I'm not a huge fan of 3D adventure games, but that's just me. However, take a kid and sit him down with Zelda, and they're going to understand and enjoy it. I completely agree. Older music, there's a lot of older music that's really good. I still listen to music that I listened to back in the mid to late 90s. Fuck. One of my favorite groups of all time was the Temptations. They made shit before I was even born. That's old music. And it's still fucking great. And you know how you can tell with music specifically. I used to play music. I used to even play in a band. And one way that I could tell that when old music was great, not just because I can listen to it now, but because there are people who not only listen to it now, but they like to make covers of that stuff. My brother used to be in a band, and he played drums in this band. I mean, he played drums in every band he played in, but he in one of his older bands back when I was a teenager, they covered "My Girl" by the Temptations. That's a classic song, and that's a phenomenal fucking song. The original is really fucking good. But there are people like my brother's old band that covered it. And it's because it's a fucking great song. And they wanted to put their own spin on it and try and make it cool and more catered to that time frame. And you know what? I thought it turned out pretty good too. Over time, it's not as great as it used to be. When I was a kid, I used to think that their cover of "My Girl" was phenomenal. And now that's clearly my interest in that song clearly comes from nostalgia, which is different from a song that just holds up well over time. And that's really what that boils down to. It's a difference between something you like due to the fact that you liked it when you were a kid, like I did with that cover of "My Girl," as opposed to something where it's something that you listen to it today and you feel like that it could have just come out 5 years ago or 10 years ago instead of 30 or 40. You know what I mean? Like, and even then, you can hear an older song like "My Girl," and you could tell that it's an old song, but it doesn't make it bad. So, the same thing applies to video games. It's pure, plain and this whole topic is someone's opinion. So, I need to stop saying the word opinion. And this last comment I'm reading right here, it says, "So Ian, ... Are you trying to drum up clicks by posting a sloppy, uneducated article? Are you really this ignorant? Please tell me it's the first one." I don't even really need to comment on that. I do believe in the part where this person says that it's uneducated because and you know what, I wouldn't even say uneducated, or it's sloppy for the most part because he's kind of all over the place. He talks about the Vega Plus, and then he talks about apparently collecting NES games from some Spanish electronics store when he was on vacation once, and then jumps to how he likes SNES games, but he feels like all old games are shit. So I don't really know where his definition of old is, if it's before the SNES. But then he also talks about how Wind Waker was decent. So this is a sloppy fucking article. This is clearly a trolling clickbait article. And I fell for it. But I do get some sort of entertainment out of reading some of this. It does get me worked up to an extent. I do get kind of passionate about it, but it was kind of a waste of my time as well, reading this article. I wouldn't say that it's uneducated. It's certainly a sloppy article, but I wouldn't say it's uneducated. This is clearly just how this guy feels about older games in comparison to new ones. This guy clearly likes modern gaming more than classic gaming, and that's completely fine, Ian. It's fine that you like newer games as compared to old ones. Just don't try and shove the idea down people's throats that because something is branded old, it means it's garbage, it's a piece of trash, it's not even worth your time. That is definitely ignorant. He is definitely ignorant on a level that is not even comprehensible. That's all I have to say.